Hey there folks, I want this video, and here I'm going to talk about a rumour that's been going around the F1 paddock, or not necessarily the F1 paddock, but for F1 fans, for the last couple of weeks or so. This is the rumour that Andretti, as in Michael Andretti, son of Mario, might invest in an F1 team. That F1 team being Alfa Romeo, otherwise known as Sauber. And, well, let's talk about that for a second, and what ramifications that could have. Firstly, it would be a shame if that meant Sauber was gone entirely. Right now, Sauber is, at least of its team, largely owned by Alfa Romeo, in a kind of sponsorship deal that we saw almost akin to what they had when they were BMW Sauber back in the late noughties. But what we could see, supposedly, is Andretti taking up a significant portion of it. Now, I think that would be a cool thing to see. Well, not necessarily them into Sauber, but them into sport more generally. Seeing a further expansion into the American market, and especially with a team that, with Bottas at the helm and still an opening for that extra driver, could also provide some pretty cool stories for American audiences, or just for audiences of F1. Both active and passive. I think one of the big things that stands out to me is Andretti and its relationship with United Autosport. Because a lot of people are like, oh, there'll be a good opening for somebody like, for example, the likes of Colton Herta to be able to go across to F1. But nobody's really talked about the fact that Andretti and United have worked quite closely for almost forever now. I know that Zach Brown is largely looking at getting McLaren involved in other things now, compared to United, though he still does a lot of work for United Autosport, given that it's very much his kind of baby. But it could mean a McLaren Academy, potentially? You know, some seat time for someone like, let's say, Pato O'Ward. Would that not be cool? Because that's the big thing I think about. At the end of the day, I like seeing the increase in attention that IndyCar's gotten. I think it's almost undeniable, the fact that it's gone up since, well, Sky increased their coverage, and, of course, the likes of McLaughlin, Jimmy Johnson, and, for F1 fans, Romain Grosjean went across to the States. And also the fact that Grosjean's been somewhat competitive. The fact that he's changing up to be in the DHL car for next season. Now, I just happen to wonder, who is it that owns that car? It wouldn't be, Andretti Autosport, would it? Oh yeah, it would. And I also mentioned Herta. You have to remember on their roster as well is Alexander Rossi, now an Indy 500 winner. Also was in F1 very quietly back around, 2014? Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would this be good for F1? Would it be bit of a problem for F1? I think it could be pretty cool. I'd like it to be another team compared to the Sauber Alpha lot, but there's not really much more of an opening, is there, considering, well, what Haas is. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you around. Bye for now.